Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for being here and testifying today. So, in these meetings, as I am understanding, I want to make sure that I'm clear. Something different has happened since January, or is it always been the same way that in these formatted meetings, uh, the discussion has been other than job-related issues, what needs to be done in a job training, so on and so forth, and then we've gone into the question of political issues, unions, so on and so forth.
If your question is before January, it just had to do with work uh, issue. Every once in a while, you'd be informed of either a team member or a former person that if they had passed away. But most of it was all with the job, and it was much looser. I mean, people would be walking around the supervisors. It wasn't line up against the wall. And now hear this. Actually, it did remind me a lot of, roll call, get in the line, getting eaten, okay, listen to the orders of the day. And one of the things, especially that what I consider them captain meetings because you can't leave, is they will then, after a lot of these meetings, call people one-on-one or into the office to talk with them about this. Also on the floor, they've done it. But if you get caught talking pro-union on the floor, they tell you you're not doing your job.
Thank you. So I'm just trying to figure out the mood and of such meetings. So just as I'm understanding, hearing the testimony that as of January, things have changed. Number one.
Yes.
Number two is this lining against the wall that you referred to a few times in your testimony today is you get called into these meetings. There is this meeting, and out of this meeting, or during this meeting, there is no free flow of the employees walking in, walking out. You go in there, you're pretty much in the court. I'm not saying locked room, but pretty much close to that, and you've got to stay for the entire meeting.
Until the supervisor or manager tells you can leave, yes.
Thank you. And then I know my ranking member alluded to this, but I wasn't sure. I didn't get the answer clearly. So I just want to make sure I'm clear that when you go into these meetings, are you given an agenda ahead of time as to what is going to be discussed? What is the purpose of this particular meeting?
No.
Okay. And the conversation in these meetings could include a range of subject matters, related to your job, related to security of the job, so on and so forth. But somewhere in the process of this meeting is also the discussion on political opinions, views, so on and so forth, and regarding unions and things like that. Is it a part of what is being talked about in the meeting?
Since January, and especially since we filed to have an election, it's all about everything. The union. The union can't guarantee that. They promised you this, they can't deliver. Now, because I talked to a lot of it, being a member of that helped form this, and to talk to my fellow employees about forming the union, is always starts. Well, the union doesn't have your best interest at heart. All they want is your money so that they can pay themselves exorbitant salaries. Now, the reason they know how much, and I wouldn't say it was exorbitant considered the membership of the union, our CEO makes a lot more money, I'm sure, than, he only doesn't have near as many employees as the union has members. And it's when you have that large a group, somebody has to help you organize, and there's a sort of union brotherhood and sisterhood of unions. I remember that from my own family history. That it's always anti-this. They can't do this. They can't promise. They promise you that they can't do that. And then the strangest thing is they keep bringing up they can't stop you from being outsourced. Well, I thought that wasn't being considered at this time, so why do you keep mentioning it? That's why it's the biggest discussion, one of the biggest discussions among it being outsourced. And the reason outsourcing is a big deal is because you can become a part-time employee with no regular schedule. You can, work 16 hours, be sent home for 8, and expected to come back for another 16-hour shift. The benefits, if they're offered, are exorbitantly expensive. One of the KU members who was still there, if his wife didn't have insurance, they want $180 a week out of his paycheck. I mean, and he's only working 32 hours as it is, and that doesn't cover drugs, that doesn't cover, and the deductibles, I believe, are $50 a doctor's visit, as he was saying. He didn't go, but all he knew is he couldn't afford it. And one of the things with Pat, can they guarantee that, union guarantee you that health care costs won't go up? I don't know anybody who can make that promise. I mean, it's one of the biggest issues facing this country today, not only the state of Connecticut, but everywhere else. How do we we claim to have the best health care system in the world. We may do, but it's way too expensive. It could be delivered better, and we're all part of the solution. But they have, from the beginning, increased our workload and cut our medical benefits back. There's now, I'm fighting to pay off, I had a stroke in July of 2015. I'm still trying to pay off the deductibles from that. I had a car accident on October the 8th. I had to get a car. And I'm running circles around to be able to make my rent, make my car payment, and still keep paying off these medical bills, because I really don't want to have to declare bankruptcy, because I have to have a car to go to work, and I have to have a place to live.
Thank you. Could you explain what is outsourcing?
Outsourcing is they they fire all the workers and bring in a company, which they guarantee you, the company will give you a job. They guarantee you that. What they don't guarantee you is that if your wages are going to go down, it's only going to be part-time, and you have no benefits. KU doesn't have sick time. KU doesn't have vacation time. Now, if you are one of the few full-time employees, you will earn, after a year, you will earn one vacation day a month, one a month. So that's 12 hours of vacation time a year. I don't know what you can do in 12 hours if you able to save it up. But.
So when they discuss this outsourcing, it is every employee will then be guaranteed a job through this outsourcing company.
That's what they say. But what they don't tell you is what the outsourcing company is going to offer you. They make it sound like, well, the only thing that's going to change is your management. We're hiring these people to come in, and they're going to be running things. Foxwoods won't. And the only way outsourcing, because when they did, up until the day they outsourced KU, they lied to them, because they outsourced our cafeteria people. The quantity and quality of our food, since they outsourced the people who feed us on our breaks, has diminished. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, they chicken almost every day, and they call it everything. They put sauce on it and call it jerk chicken. Just because you put your jerk seasoning on chicken doesn't make it jerk chicken. They don't know how to do it. But people realize what happened. Then they see what happened to KU. And we have some of the first members who came to ESD from KU were able to get a job in ESD because they had so many openings that they decided they were going to fill a few of them because they had to. They cannot believe that these people were some of the first to sign up the cards, because they have also heard and believed that they want to outsource us because they save money. They don't have to pay benefits anymore.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And my final question to you is, just describe, if possible, the mood of these meetings. Is it a conversation? Is it a discussion? Is it a question-answer kind of a thing? Or is it just being told A, B, C, and D for that whatever length of time is, and the meeting is over?
Basically, it's being told, and they usually end with the thing, if you have any questions, but if you have any questions, it comes to an end real quick. I have a tendency to interrupt the meeting and ask my questions. I usually point of clarification. That's how I found out the definition of "we." They kept on saying "we," and I said, I want to know who this "we" is. "We's" the company. I said, thank you very much. That's all I had.
So that I'm clear, so it is, when the meeting is called, it comes from whoever is running the meeting, the managers or whoever they're running the meeting. They run the meeting and kind of more of an informational session where you are, but your opinion is not taken, you're not a part of the conversation during the meeting.
No, they're given these things from whatever company Foxwood hired, these things, and they come out and they're told how to say, what to say, and they come out and do it. And if pressed, they really don't have any answers, and some of them get really uncomfortable, some of them actually get angry.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.